Hey fam!
Let's be
3D.
Hey fam, welcome back to episode 16 of Let's Be 3D.
Sweet
Thank
16.
you for joining us. Yes, Sweet 16. It is an awesome
It's
episode.
four-month-ish.
4 weeks, 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months-ish.
16
Ish.
weeks.
16 episodes,
weeks.
16 weeks.
Can't speak. 16
It's
weeks.
awesome. We're really excited about today. Today we're talking about our whirlwind sightseeing
Oh my
tour
goodness.
between Romanian music camps.
Yes.
It was quite the adventure.
Oh, yeah.
And can't wait to dig in.
Oh,
But first,
Go for it.
let's do a roll call. I'm Jacob, and I'm really excited about this week.
No one's
Next.
talking to me.
Sorry.
She's distracting me, folks. I'm Abby. I'm twin to this
kidding.
girl right here, who's sitting next to me that you can't see, but
Unless you are
watching
in the
us.
fam club.
I'm Abby. I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Hello. Goodbye.
Wow. Fun stuff.
Don't say goodbye yet. We haven't even gotten into the good stuff.
Naomi here. This has been really cool.
It's been good to have you on here.
Oh, thank
You
you.
have this cool vibe about you that everybody just naturally draws to you. Like, wow.
Really? So
No,
interesting.
not really. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. Anyway, and yes, it is Joshua here holding down the left end, the right end, whichever way you want to look at it.
Both.
Okay.
Both ends.
Yeah,
No.
man.
But yes, we are talking about one of the greatest adventures we ever experienced as a family. And we got to experience it together, which was cool.
And we survived
Which honestly was the
together.
best part of the whole thing.
Right.
And
Oh.
actually, before we get started on the actual trip,
Right.
we said
Yes.
we'd talk about this this week because it was kind of connected to sightseeing.
Right.
Is there is a big hill outside Jabot.
It was a
They call
mountain.
it
It was
the
a mountain
hill.
to
We
us.
call yeah.
Texans.
They call it the hill.
I'm like, we live on a hill, and it's basically a bump. Well, in Texas, we lived on a hill. Quote.
We were the
quote,
highest point in the
unquote.
county.
Yeah,
A
but it
hill.
was like really tiny.
And so
compared-
that was our definition of a hill. But apparently, there are differentiating different
They're just
different definitions of what is a hill and what is a mountain, and basically, our definitions needed to be
To Romanians,
broadened.
anything
redefined.
under about 1,000
You're
feet
welcome.
was considered a
Yes.
hill.
So,
And
what was
so-
the name of it? Because there was
I
a
don't
name.
remember.
And
There
it
was
started
a
with like
name
an S or something.
Because there was a cross at the top,
Yes.
and we wanted to hike up there to
See
it.
the
see it.
cross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we got up super early,
yeah.
and
We
we
got,
went with Bogdan, Naomi, Pastor Teo, and Emmy.
Yes.
That was it.
And I remember there was a shepherd and his sheep
Yes.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
on the mountain. Didn't they have sheepdogs too?
Yes.
I might have seen
Even
one.
sheepdogs?
There might have been one.
Well, I thought there was something said about like if we got too close to the sheep that the dogs would get after
Yeah,
us.
Emmy
Right.
had been chased
So
by
we made sure
the
to
dogs.
avoid
Getting too
being
close.
too
threats.
close to the flock.
Right. But it was cool to see that, to be reminded of
Right.
one of our favorite parables
Mm.
in Luke about the lost sheep and how the shepherd, Jesus, he saves that which is lost.
Yeah.
So, just those reminders all around you
Right.
to see real life, modern day shepherds.
Yeah.
Real
And it
life
was-
shepherds.
And there was some
modern day
effort.
shepherds.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
And there was some effort involved.
Oh
in
my,
climbing
especially
up
the
this-
last
that
part.
last little bit.
Most of
Lord.
that last part was on all fours
Yes.
because it was early in the morning with the
Yeah.
dew, and you didn't want to slip and fall and knock people all down.
Yeah, there was
Right.
one like
Well, it was so
almost straight.
steep. It
Yeah.
was.
Almost
I mean,
straight
if
up.
you're watching the podcast, it was literally. I think it was I don't know what the percentage
It's probably
grade,
80. I would
but
say
there was
80.
it was 75 degrees,
Yeah.
I'd say.
But it was so cool.
And then
Like
when we
that.
got up there,
The air was so fresh.
under the cross, we
Yes.
sang
Mighty to save.
at the cross.
No,
At
you
the
all
cross.
sang at
We
the
did
sang
sing
I
at
have
the
a
cross.
video. I should go find it.
Somewhere.
We did
I
sing.
have the video
I knew
somewhere.
we
Or
might have
teach y'all
sung
how to go find it
Mighty to
because
Save
it's
too,
very
but we
time-consuming.
sang at the cross, and that
Yeah.
was really
Yes.
cool.
Mom took a
And of
video.
course, it had a beautiful view of Jabot.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, and the
So-
surrounding villages
Area.
and countryside
And with
you
it
could see from
being
We're like,
miles.
early
oh, we
morning-
went over
we
there,
know over there.
and we went over there.
And with
really
it
cool.
being early morning is my favorite time of the day. So it was really pretty and it was a lot of fun.
Got our
Now
good
we went a
exercise
different
in.
way down. We were
Yes,
not going back
thankfully-
down where we climbed
thankfully.
up.
Yeah, I
There
think
was
we
a
followed
different
the
way
ridge
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were
Wasn't there a
hungry.
town?
There was like a little mini
On the
village.
way down?
Yeah.
We stopped at the well,
That's
got
what I
some
thought.
water. And we also picked wild berries and
Yes.
plums on the way
Their
down.
fresh water is amazing.
Spring water.
Spring water
Yes.
overseas, Romania, Serbia, wherever we went, and we found spring water the best,
Yeah.
the freshest. And it's
Yes.
it was like, I guess I didn't realize till then, like, it's cold.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I didn't
Really
expect
cold.
that. I mean, like, it might be fresh, it might be clean, but is it cold? And like this mountain spring water.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
how they lived. I mean,
Yeah, well, it's
200
why
years
our
ago.
our pioneers, American pioneers that traveled across to the West, when they would settle down and build a cabin, whatever, they built their not ice house, but their spring house or whatever
Yeah.
was their refrigerator,
Yeah.
and they built it around a spring like what we would find,
Right.
Because it was so cold.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
that was fun.
that's awesome.
But that was like the Saturday before we left.
Yes,
Yes.
Right. Because we
Yeah.
performed at Jabot Baptist Church Sunday.
that's
Yes.
right.
And then we left on Monday. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We left on Monday and the adventure began.
Began.
Of course, we
So
had the whole laugh on Sunday with the church, and we calling it a mountain. They were like, no.
No,
yeah,
Yes.
that's a
a
hill.
hill.
And Pastor Jay was like, "We show you mountains," and they did. So let's kind of, if you don't mind,
Why don't you
we
hit
did
the
not
i-
exactly have a full-on plan of this, but what if we
give the full
kinda-
itinerary?
Yes.
And then we
kind of
come
go around
back
each,
with like memories or
Yes.
something
Yeah.
like that. But
Sounds good.
save the long road home till the very end. Just hit where we visited.
Exactly.
Let's
So-
take the long
so-
way home.
Are y'all done?
Yes.
So we left Monday, and the first thing we did, I don't even remember where this was. I still have no memory
Jacob?
of exactly where it is, but they
Mary
call it the
Cemetery?
Mary Cemetery.
The Mary Cemetery.
And explain to
So we
everybody
were
what it is.
so we did a okay. So the trip
us were
overall of the trip, we did a loop
We did a loop.
toward the Carpathian Mountains,
Right.
and then back.
Right.
See, for a little geography lesson, the Carpathian Mountains, Carpathian,
Mhm.
start at the northern border of the country and do a C shape toward
Right.
the western
Right.
border of the country, and that divides Transylvania, which is where we were
Yes.
in Jabot, and where we went was
Right.
part of Transylvania from the other part of Romania. I don't remember what the
Yeah.
traditional
Well,
name
it
was
leads
for.
it leads
But
into
anyway.
more Bulgaria side
But
of
right, so we went south because
Yeah.
Jabot is in almost, not quite, but almost the northwest corner of the country,
Right.
in that general area. And so we went south toward and then came around, followed the mountains for a little bit toward Castle Brand, Dracula's castle.
Yeah, because
and
we were like
Brasov.
right across the Ukrainian border.
Right, and
like,
then came
stones
around
away.
and
Yeah.
went back
Yeah.
north.
So anyway, but
Just
but
did a
back
big
to-
loop
right.
into the center of the
But
country.
back to the first thing that we did. Explain what the
Okay,
Mary
so the Mary
Cemetery
Cemetery is a very elaborately built Orthodox church. Very pretty, very pretty. One of the most beautiful, and we've seen a lot of beautiful Orthodox churches over there, but probably one of the most brightly colored
Yeah,
Yeah.
very colorful.
Orthodox churches
lots of
that I've ever
paintings.
seen. And so they had this cemetery, and I don't remember how it got started, but when they would bury people there or whatever, they would put a humorous epitaph on their
I want to be
gravestone.
Really? Like a joke?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Like usually about the person or about something like that. Yeah.
That's funny.
And they would be as brightly, the sign posts or whatever, graves, they're not stones. They were more sign looking things.
Yeah.
We have pictures we can post on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Or you could Google it.
as brightly colored in the and they were inscribed with the ancient Romanian alphabet or whatever.
Right.
Because it wasn't, if I remember correctly, it was not in a Latinic script. Or if it was very old.
Yeah, I remember Pastor Teo translating.
And he was I remember him having trouble reading it.
Yeah.
It was
Anyway,
that old.
that was interesting.
And there were several hundred of these. I mean, it's a very large.
It was a touristy part of town because
Yeah.
we went through the shops and stuff. They had like a farmer's market type
Went
thing.
into the church and,
Yeah.
and they were doing a little construction on it, so it wasn't as accessible
Right.
as it could have been, but still,
It was
very
cool.
beautiful area.
So we did that, and then
That was fun.
we drove to Sigishwara. We spent the night there, and then we toured Sigishwara, which is
so cool
part
to say,
part
and
of
I'm
the
saying it wrong.
city, because there's modern parts of it and everything.
Right.
But part of the city was set apart and created into
Actually, it's been maintained.
Maintained.
That's the fortified village part of the city of Shigishwara, because there is
The old
the
city part.
old city part
Okay, so
has been
as y'all are
maintained.
explaining what that
Right.
means, because you were like, yeah, we went to Sigishwara.
It is
whatever.
one of the
And I was like,
oldest.
What
yeah,
was that?
it is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, still inhabited fortified town
Okay.
in Europe.
That was
Right.
cool.
It
That
It was
one of
it's
the
fortified
coolest
with
ones.
We had-
walls
Yeah.
that you had to drive through gates and stuff to get
I
into the
remember
old
that now.
city.
They
now
had
there is
great food,
modern
too.
there
They
was a
did.
modern
we
settlement.
had
bread
around.
with the soup
We had
in it.
when we went and ate.
Yes.
That was like my favorite part when we would.
All
go and
Abby
eat.
cares about is food.
The food over there is amazing. I will give them that.
They okay. Again, pre-keto, right? I mean, we could totally try this though.
Keto.
But they made like a bowl out of bread, yes, and they put
It was some kind of soup,
Gumbo
like
or
bean,
soup
gumbo
Yeah.
or
bean.
something in it.
It was so good.
And then
y'all.
they
was
cut the
really
top
good.
off.
Man, I would
I remember
stuff
So
that.
you had that.
myself
It was
over
really
there.
good. And then we had a tour guide who played the part of like a caller. So like
Yes.
it was
He
really
was
he was
fun.
really funny.
Did he know English?
He knew English,
Yes.
Romanian,
Okay.
and German because it was a tourist
He
part
knew,
of town.
was
And
it
he
Korean or Japanese?
Yeah,
Or-
'cause
he
there
wouldn't-
was a-
he
there
knew
was a group-
some Oriental
Yeah,
language.
there was a group of Oriental
and
Yeah.
he
tourists,
we
and
looked
he
at him
spoke
like,
to them.
Whoa,
Hey.
in their language.
He
I
did
was
his job
chill.
very, very well. He'd like do his drum
That
thing.
was
We have a
one
video.
of my favorite stops on our trip.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And where we stayed was so cool too, which has a funny story. But we'll get back into that
You'll
when
have
we're
to
going.
remind me.
So
I will.
So we went
Then the
there.
next-
So think old European, like think Renaissance Festival. If you've ever been to a Renaissance Festival,
Yes, that's a very
think
good
about
illustration.
the Renaissance Festival, like supersized on steroids.
We
Yes.
love history
Definitely.
stuff.
Yes.
then the next thing we did was we went to Castle Bran, otherwise known as Dracula's,
Dracula's
Castle,
castle.
otherwise
Yes.
known as Vlad
Yeah,
Tepes.
I learned more
Yes.
than I
Is
wanted
his
to
name.
know about Mr.
The-
Dracula.
There are
Thanks to Jacob, who was telling us all the gory details.
well, it's fun. It's history.
I
It
know.
happened. You know.
I know.
Like-
we did skip
Um,
any vampire parts because we
yeah.
are not into that.
There
if you
are-
are, that's fine, but we are not. So
Whatever. I
Naomi
believe
saw me
that
start to
there
read.
are-
She was
like,
like,
why
"Abby,
are you
really don't want to read
reading
that?"
I was kidding.
I believe that there are 3 castles that lay claim to being
Dracula's. Yeah,
castle. The other 2 are more touristy into the vampire stuff. This castle that we went to was not only probably the real
Yes.
One.
Dracula's castle, the real castle. It remained a royal residence for the royal family of Romania until the communist revolution. in
So
the
it was
20th
also
century.
very
I don't
historical.
remember.
So
it wasn't
it
just
had
about
been
Dracula.
it had been in the royal
That's very
family
cool.
for hundreds of years.
It was
Right.
a very cool castle, very cool experience. It was very crowded.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
the most crowded place
It
we've
was
been in.
so
and
crowded.
small. Y'all,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been around our family. We're relatively tall people. I mean, I'm 6'2", Joshua's 6'1".
Yeah.
And so there were a couple of places in this castle. I remember this
was
one
low.
secret stairway or whatever that they showed us.
Yes,
Oh,
that was
my.
It
tiny.
was 5'6" tall
Yeah.
and
Which,
about 3 feet wide.
It
So
was very
short
small.
and very
we were
small.
all like hunched over, and this was the only time that I felt claustrophobic. Like
Yeah.
even in Israel, when we did David's tunnels, where you're like 3,000 feet underground and you're
Right,
supposed
right.
to be scared out of your mind, I wasn't. I thought it was cool, but in that tiny little passageway, the dude in front of me stumbled and fell, and it hit me. I have nowhere to go.
Right.
And that
'Cause there was
scared me
line
for a
of
little bit.
people going through
Yeah.
this. If someone knocked their head or fell down or something,
It
it
would
kind
be
of
like
stopped the flow of
dominoes.
traffic.
You'd
Right.
be stuck there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
After
Still
Joshua's
really cool.
castle,
we did
where'd we go?
We went to a mountain,
a
a
mountain.
real
A real
mountain.
The mountain.
a real mountain, and we're talking
It was cold up there. I'm
almost
so thankful I
almost
brought
Rocky
a
Mountain.
hoodie.
Flannel.
Was it the
Ish.
was
not
it,
as tall, but
was it the
pretty close.
highest mountain in Romania? Or
it
the
was
second?
the second highest mountain in Romania, and it also
the most
was
dangerous
home
It was
to
the
roads.
second dangerous road. We knew that
Like-
after.
After the fact, we're driving. You're just like, okay.
So
Okay,
that was
thank you
fun.
That
for
was fun.
Okay.
It was actually
Mom took
really
time
cool.
lapses of us going up
Yes.
and coming
Oh,
back
Lord.
down.
It's crazy.
It
They'll
was
make you sick.
Crazy. But we rode the it wasn't a ski lift. It was the tram thing.
A car, like a car lift, whatever
Tram
they call
lift,
that.
Whatever they call
You
that.
know,
It wasn't
so we
a
drove
ski
up.
lift.
We
We
drove
rode
up the
that?
mountain.
We rode
Yeah,
in the
because
thing.
you couldn't get to the top by car. You
We rode that. I
Yes,
thought
we
that
did.
was in Serbia. So we rode that
Serbia
in
was the
Romania.
ski lifts, Abby.
Oh, that was the ski lift. What
Yeah.
was this?
This
Oh,
was a
shoot.
This
I
was a
totally
car.
forgot
it was
about
like
the
a
waterfall.
tram. Yeah.
Oh
up-
yeah, there was a
Oh,
waterfall.
wow.
That was the same day.
I totally
though.
forgot. No, that was the day
was a
with
different
the
day.
cemetery.
How could you
Yes.
forget that? That's when I
I
re-sprained my
I
ankle.
know. I
Wow.
totally forgot about. Well, she mentioned the ski
Don't
lift,
bang
and
the
I was
table,
like,
Naomi.
I don't remember us
You
going
don't
up
have
the
the
mountain.
train ride
Wait,
either.
oh, I remember
Oh
that.
yeah,
You don't have the
the
train ride either.
ride. I remember the
Joshua,
train ride.
Oh,
what is
Lord,
wrong
I
with
forgot
yeah.
about that.
The train ride. I remember that.
We-
All
See,
that.
with the
everything's
pandemonium.
coming back, y'all. Oh my
this
goodness,
is funny.
I forgot
We
about
had
the
a
train.
list. It's
That
wrong.
I'm sorry. That was the worst. I'm sorry.
That
What, the
was-
train?
We'll get there.
I fell
but-
asleep.
I
It
love
was
the
so
train ride.
nice.
Okay,
Was
we
the train ride
also-
after Brashov?
The
no,
train ride was
no,
one
no,
of
no.
the first
That was
things we
before.
did.
That was
Okay.
It was like after the
Hello.
Mary
I
Cemetery.
think. So we did. I think we did the Mary Cemetery and the waterfall,
Yeah.
and then we
The
did.
waterfall was on the way back from the mountain.
No, we no.
It was one of the last things we did because I re-sprained my ankle.
No, but remember the mountain after that, that's when we had our adventure of going back.
I thought that was after the.
No,
No,
we
no.
did.
So
the mountain
after
was the last
mountain,
thing we
went
did.
straight.
I know
that was
that
the whole
much.
Okay, so it was
12-hour
before
drive.
the mountain
Okay.
thing between
Yeah.
Dracula's
One
castle.
other thing that we haven't mentioned was, and maybe this was 2016, but I'm pretty sure it was 2017.
What? What's up?
Was the prison.
Oh, that was this year.
The
That was this year.
Oh
the prison.
yes.
What was it called?
I don't
prison.
remember, but it
Oh,
was where the communists held a
um,
bunch
um,
of
um,
the.
prison.
That
It
was
was
with
a
the Mary
communist-
Cemetery. Now that
I think you're
about
right.
it,
Because I think that.
pretty
Oh
sure.
shoot, where was
let's
that?
just say it was actually more of a whirlwind than we thought.
I remember now. It was a.
It was one of the
don't want
first
to call it a
things we did.
concentration camp. It was a prison.
It was a communist prison. It was
yeah,
like a building.
this was like Oh
forgot
man,
about
But I don't
that.
remember where it was.
I don't remember where in the trip we did that.
It
It
was,
was one
But I
of the
remember-
one of the
first
first
things.
You're
things
right.
we did.
So
Anyway,
Anyway.
now that we've kind of gotten all the
Yes.
places mentioned, do you want to go around?
Now
let's go
let's do
for
it.
it.
Sharing
So,
memories.
Sorry,
so,
hopefully we haven't overwhelmed y'all with they have no idea what they're talking about.
so
these people?
let's since there's a lot more here.
There's a lot more
let's
here.
try to keep it timely.
Short. Of
Short,
course, we're
sweet,
always
to the point.
timely.
So Mary Cemetery. Any fun memories there?
Honestly, I
Honestly-
just remember being totally confused. We bought something.
Yes,
I
we did.
remember
Did
that. We like
We did.
bought
Yeah.
I don't
Some kind of trinket. I don't.
I just
what it
remember
was.
that the souvenir stuff was cool, but I was confused about the Mary
I had
Cemetery.
the
I'm like,
weirdest
what
when
is
when
this?
Teo would
times.
translate it, it wouldn't really make
It doesn't
sense
make sense
in
because
English.
it was a Romanian joke.
It
thing.
wasn't funny to us.
Yeah. It was
I do
interesting.
remember something about that.
They
I
were
was just
pretty though.
confused.
I took
Yeah.
a couple of pictures of the
It was
signposts. They
pretty.
were real
it was
pretty.
Just I was confused about. Okay, what's the historical point of this place? You know, because
Yeah,
I'm more of a
right,
history
right.
buff. Anyway, so no, not on the Mary Cemetery.
Okay, right.
Now the food was good because we added that fresh fish,
Right.
fresh
Oh,
fish place.
That was really
like
good.
literally, it's on this stream, and they catch the fish when you order
Yes.
it, scan it, fry it.
there
Oh,
is
that
only
was
one.
then?
There's only
That
two
was
places
really
here in the U.S.
good.
Now I haven't eaten at a whole lot of fish houses, but there's only two places in the U.S. that I've ever had that kind of fish.
Yeah.
That's really, and this is fried catfish. We can't do this on keto anymore. But is
Mississippi?
Rocky something
Rocky
whatever.
Creek.
Rocky Creek
Yeah.
in Mississippi
Mhm.
Oh, that's
and
so
Ponce
good.
de Leon in North Louisiana, near Athens
Oh
and in
yeah,
that
I forgot.
area
about-
that's been a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah.
that Mr. Gant would always
It's
take us to.
actually
Yes.
Port-au-Prince.
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 Yes.
Ponce de
Leon.
Leon
That's
is
Florida.
the lighthouse
lighthouse
in
that we went
Florida,
to.
and
That's
is also
lighthouse
the
in
explorer that. Anyway,
So next,
after Mary Cemetery, I
prison
think we did
is
do
when
the
we did the
communist prison,
communist
and
prison.
that was
That was incredible.
we did,
Very-
and we didn't even mention this with the Serbia, but remember the niche
yeah, no,
concentration?
we
did.
We mentioned it briefly. We
Yeah.
can go into more detail in the bonus.
We'll probably
Right,
come
we'll
back
do
to
that.
Just remember.
But
Remember,
we had gone to a concentration camp in Niš when we it was our second year in
Yes.
Serbia.
Yeah.
So we had that experience, and it was very sobering. And but really, the difference between that and the communist prison that we went to in the Romania
This was a whole nother
was
level.
it was a whole nother level, but it was also it was a lot more personal. It was also because for us, you know, a lot of those people that went there it was because of being a Christian and
Right.
all
The
that kind of
concentration
stuff.
camp
It
being
was-
from Nazi Germany, it was
kind of mixed.
it was kind of a mixed bag as far as the people that were interned there,
yeah,
and it was small. I mean, I've
Right.
seen pictures of Auschwitz and you know the other
Right.
concentration camps in Europe, and the one in Niš was very small
Yeah.
by comparison.
Right.
But this was an elaborate
Oh yeah.
prison system
Yes.
with multiple floors, like 5 or 6 levels.
Yeah.
it was pretty big. We weren't able to
yeah.
do everything. We kind of just skimmed.
Kind of look. They
a
had
lot.
several rooms that were open to
Yeah.
the public that had representations of their beds and solitary confinement and
Some government
s-
history and stuff like
stuff
that.
like
it
that.
was interesting,
It
but it
was-
was also
yeah.
really sobering.
Yeah.
It
Because-
was sobering.
We were, again, that was right after 2016 with the whole everything that happened before Trump got elected. And so just really for us
I
being
remember,
aware of
yeah,
we were
the
just getting
statues.
more into politics.
yeah. They were the whole statues
Taking
things
down
here in the
history
States.
and everything.
Yes.
And that was what was so surprising is they had, you know, in one of the rooms they had a a
Picture of
poster of
Ceausescu, yeah.
the dictator of Romania and everything. And Mom was like, you know, why do y'all have that up there? Just, asking honestly. And he was like, it's part of our history.
So we don't forget.
So we don't
That's what he
forget.
said.
And it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And he shared
Hmm.
some stories of him because he grew up. Teo was 14. He was an early teenager in the revolution of
Yeah.
89
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Romania. And he was actually in jail when it all blew up
Yeah.
for being, for preaching and whatever. And so he actually had firsthand accounts of being in places like that,
Right.
which was really
Yeah.
quite a
Then-
sobering and just,
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after the prison was the train ride.
Yes.
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 That was really cool.
Yeah,
Because-
once he got around all the coal smoke filtering back through the cars.
Well, I didn't really care about that.
I guess it didn't
That
bother
was
me.
the longest day of my life.
That was.
I mean,
that's
it was.
funny.
It was. I'm sorry. It was. When you think of a train ride, you think, oh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna, because it talked about climbing up mountains, and it's like, ooh, we're actually gonna go up the mountain.
There were
That did
trails. We
not
just didn't
happen.
have time to hike one.
Right. No, the train actually, and maybe it did sort of. I was just expecting much more of a actual climb, and
Yeah.
it never did. It was like,
I'm
was
one of
just
those
me.
weird people who likes watching the countryside. Yo, I had my iPod and tunes in, and I was happy.
Yeah, I had
And
my-
we would
I had
follow
my
these
headphones
two
in.
bikers who had the
Excuse me, I did
GoPros on
too.
their helmets.
yeah.
They followed us for an hour. Anyway, but I did fall asleep on the way back because I was tired.
Yes.
I had music to listen to too. It's just the smoke filtering back through the
Wow, I
cars
do
gave me a
not
headache.
remember that.
I don't
Anyway.
remember.
But
having
anyway,
trouble.
that was
But
cool.
It might have been the way we were sitting because I was sitting facing the back of the train.
Right.
Mm.
So if you
I
were
wasn't.
if you were facing forward, you got more of the smoke.
I don't
in there.
know.
Yeah.
Then after
Just
the
don't remember
train,
having a
we went to
problem.
Sigishwara.
Sigishwara, yeah.
Well, we did.
think.
Well, no, we did the waterfall.
We did the waterfall.
Yeah, we did the waterfall.
Okay, so yeah,
Was it?
because
know.
it rained,
Because
It rained.
and it was raining when we got to Sigishwara.
okay, that's right. Anyway,
That's right. I
so
remember that.
we did a ski. We did do a ski lift. That was a ski lift.
Yes.
Yes.
And it had rained right before we got there. And so we went up, and it was supposed to be a hike to this waterfall and stuff like that. But the path was muddy, and there's no guardrails. And
That was
I
fun.
had sprained my ankle in February, my left ankle in February, like almost to the day a year after spraining my right ankle the year before. Yay, fun times. Anyway, and on the way back, so we had gone down there, gotten a couple pictures. It looked like it
Beautiful
was going. It
waterfall.
was really, really cool. Super tall.
It was
Anyway.
a tall, thin waterfall, if I
Yes.
remember
Yeah.
correctly.
But it was pretty, and I remember seeing these mountain climbers, like full stuff mountain climbers with the huge backpacks and the sticks, like way up above us, and I'm like, dang, like these were serious mountain
Oh yeah.
climbers.
Yeah.
It was a really cool area. But on the way back, I slipped and fell, and we sprained my ankle, and I had to walk all the way back.
Yeah. That was.
And then we
fun.
did a lot of walking at Sigishwara and the mountain stuff.
Poor Naomi.
And when I got back and went back to the doctor, he was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do about it." So that's when I got the boot.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was fun besides re-spraining my ankle.
It was
And then
very
we went
pretty.
to Sigishwara.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so funny story about that. So we were in the bed and breakfast.
Yes.
Remember that? It was super cool, tall, thin building, like multiple floors. Abby and I
Yes.
were like in the top floor with the
Yeah,
little
I
window
think
looking
so.
out.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh, I think I do.
I
remember
love old
that.
city vibes.
It was.
Anyway,
It was.
too.
Well, it was very interesting.
Was it in the old city?
Yeah, we were in a room that was like
it was
purple
not
and pink
in
and
the
all that
old
kind of
city. It
stuff.
was on the same street. Like we were one street over from the old city. It was pretty
Okay.
close. Anyway, but what happened was the multiple rooms and stuff like that. We were getting settled in, and Pastor Teo, I don't know how it got brought up, but something about Abby and I would be in this room because it had two separate beds, and Daniela, because Daniela was with us. They was the whole
It
family.
was the
It
whole-
wasn't just
it was
Pastor
their
Teo
family
Emmy,
and our
family. And Daniela and Emmy would share a room with just one bed. And I would just remember going, Abby and I will totally take that room because Abby and I sleep in the same bed all the time, like at home and everything. So I just remember that being so funny. Just again, the stereotype of Americans like needing
Everyone needs
the
their own
perfect
bed
room,
and
and we were
plenty
like,
of
No.
space.
oh, we'll
and we're
totally
like,
take that room.
We don't
And
mind being in tight
Danielle and Amy were like,
spaces.
"Are you sure?" We're like, "Yeah,
They're like,
we do
"Thank
that all
you."
the time." And they were
Right.
like, "Thank you, brother, sister." Yeah, I was thinking
That was
you two
honestly
together?
weirder than.
Yeah, I know.
you know?
It was like.
It was just really funny, but yeah, that was cool. And then we went and had the dinner.
Wait, I'm the memories are coming back now. I remember this place now.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I remember
cool.
now.
Like
yeah.
eccentric, travel vibey, old city.
And
Oh,
the
it
guy,
was
I was
eccentric,
with
I can tell you that.
Justice.
I think so.
How many rooms did we have? We had like 5 rooms.
I think
don't
we were
remember.
paired in 2 different rooms.
Yeah.
Well,
Like 2 people to a room. Sorry.
6 rooms then,
Yes.
because if it was 2 people to a room, then it was 4 rooms for us and 2 rooms for them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway,
It was
I remember
fun.
that
that was
now.
really cool. We went out, had dinner, and then the next day we spent in the old city.
And
Yeah, because we had dinner in a
so
restaurant in
The old city.
in
Yeah,
the
that's
old
where we were
city.
talking about
With the-
bread bowl with the gumbo,
Yes.
and we got
Didn't
meat
we
or
have?
whatever.
Wasn't there a dessert that was like
I don't remember.
out of this world.
out of this world?
It's
Good.
so good.
Apparently, we don't remember what
We
that
don't remember.
was.
Just the food was good.
Because
Anyway,
that's where we picked up our Romanian, the traditional Romanian shirts that we have. I don't know if you still have yours, but I still have mine.
Was that in
we
Siggy Shore?
do.
Mhm.
That wasn't Siggy Shore.
No, I thought that was in like the
No, it was
No, no, no,
flea
no, it was
market
Siggy Shore.
type
It was
place.
Siggy Shore.
No.
You'll have to
Please
show me
swear.
what that
There
is
was
because I
a
have no
okay.
idea
So
what that
remember in
means.
Cars 2 where he's like, "Mates, we're going out here to do shopping," and it's a whole place where all the people have their stuff set up.
Oh, yeah.
There was a place like that in
Oh, yeah.
Siggy Shore.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Down
what
the
you're
main
thinking
road.
of.
Most of it
Maybe I'm
was
thinking about my stuff.
most of it was trinkets,
Oh.
like what you would see at any vendor at a
Oh, yeah.
fair or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of it was like real, authentic Romanian craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
And
really cool.
You
I
still
wanted a
have
shirt.
those shirts?
Yeah, I still have it. It's in a box.
We
somewhere.
have ours, but we never wear them.
I wore it a couple of times to
have mine.
church. One
I
time.
don't know. I
Two
think you're
times,
the only
maybe.
one. I don't think I have mine anymore.
I don't know. If
I
you
don't
have
know.
yours.
Oh, that.
You know
Yes.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
With the strings and
yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to pull it back out and wear
Yeah,
it one time.
Anyway, I
It's a
was
nice
not
dress
going
shirt.
to wear
It's a
one of
memory.
those things. Sorry.
And I think we picked up a
Anyway.
magnet too.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
of
always
course. Yeah,
grab
we
a
were-
I
magnet.
actually bought a watch.
That's the thing. You did?
You
Yeah.
did?
Still have it
I
No.
believe I do.
somewhere around here? That's
Sorry,
something
that was
like
a
that.
loud chair.
Anyway,
That was
After-
probably my favorite part of the trip.
I would
It's
say
getting-
yes.
it's going
Because Dracula's
It was really
castle
cool.
was so crowded. Like we were
Yeah.
constantly around people. And I am not that much of a people person.
right.
So
yeah.
it was
well,
very
even me. I'm a people person. I love people, but not that much.
It was bad
It was a constant line of people
around.
touring
We
the
finally
castle.
just sat and let people move around us because we're just like, we need to stop moving. Because anyway, and they were also getting ready for like their annual
Festival
vampire thing. So there
thingy.
was signs
Yeah.
and stuff, and we're like, okay, well,
Seriously. Well, honestly, I did enjoy most of Sigishwara, but oh my word, the vampires. You're just like, why?
not in
Well,
Please.
okay, so the thing
Yes,
about
it
the-
was
I
everywhere.
don't remember
It
that.
was
the thing about
Pennsylvania.
Sigishwara is yes, it was very close to the Castle
Isn't
Bran.
that his
Right.
father's?
Yes.
Yes, his
Live
father
domain,
was the
whatever.
ruler of Sigishwara. In
Yes.
fact, I believe that he ruled there as well. I mean, the castle was one of his.
He did not
Residence,
rule
but I'm
there,
not
but he was
sure.
born there.
Yeah. So Sigishwara has a
I remember that now.
significant place
Yeah.
in the Sepish family
Yes.
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 history, whatever.
That
So,
was really honestly.
that's why you saw all the
Right,
vampires.
right.
I don't remember that.
So
though. That's
honestly,
funny.
I was kind of because of Sigishwara, I was mentally prepared for Castle Bran, but honestly, I actually enjoyed that part because of the history and also kind of explaining some of the stuff.
yeah.
It was
behind
cool.
The myths, legends.
Yeah,
and
it was
stuff.
really, really cool, and I love to travel and stuff like that. So I found it cool, but after a while, the people were
Well,
just
and
like, I
the
want to be by
castle
myself.
itself was one thing, but then around the castle, you had all the
You had like
touristy
the flea. Oh,
junk.
that's what you're thinking of.
there's
The flea market
flea
thing.
market.
I think I bought.
There's
something
also
there,
some
or we bought
arcade
something
games,
there.
vampire
yeah.
stuff.
It was a little
I could not look
touristy,
at that.
weird. Anyway,
well,
Anyway.
by the way, do we want to share the true story?
no, we don't have
Or
time for that.
do-
No history
Well,
lessons.
here's
right
what I'm
now.
gonna say.
Keep
Y'all
it-
look up Lad Tepish,
Sepish.
whatever. Anyway, and
Look, if
look
you're
up
gonna
the
get it
true
right.
story of who he was. If that makes sense.
I mean, Bram, what's his name? The guy that wrote the novel, Dracula, turned him into this cult figure,
Yeah.
phenomenon, whatever.
yeah,
But truly and honestly, he is not just was, he is a Romanian hero.
yes,
To the Romanian people.
he is.
He is a hero.
Whether you believe it or not, he is.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
If you're a history buff, look
And
it up.
he technically isn't Romanian.
No,
Really?
He's German-Hungarian-ish.
I forget the name of the country. Okay, so Transylvania
Now we're getting history lessons.
Yeah, we might as well jump into it since we brought it up.
Keep it
Really quick. Transylvania, the area that is Transylvania, had another name. Valdos? No, not Valdosta. That's a city in Georgia.
Do I
Anyway,
need to Google this for you?
you can look at if you want to.
Levi Lusko does it on his podcast all the time, so
Okay,
I think
fine.
it's acceptable. What am I looking for?
Vlad Sepesh. VLAD
Vlad the Impaler? Just kidding.
Yeah,
That would be the same guy.
That's the same guy.
I'm kidding. Wait, SE you said?
SEPES.
P.
Sepesh.
Tepesh.
Or Tepesh.
I told you.
Y'all were
it's
getting
like-
it wrong.
But it's a T. But it's not Tepesh. It's
Vlad the Impaler.
One of their things. Anyway,
Okay,
what's
what
the-
am I looking for?
the country name.
Do you want me to look at his Wikipedia page?
Yeah, that'll work. Starts with a W.
Oh, what? Blah, 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 blah.
Wallachia.
Yes.
So anyway, that area, what's Transylvania, that was the kingdom name, and he was the Prince of
Right.
Wallachia is
Cool.
what the
Anyway,
call
look
it.
him up.
Anyway, so
If you want
the Ottoman Turks
Yes.
were
We're
invading.
gonna go for it.
They were
All
coming
right.
up. They were coming up
Here
from
it
the
is.
Balkans. They had just conquered the Balkans,
The true story.
and he was tasked by the Hungarian king to stop them. And so he had this other war going on, and he took the heads of those people and stuck them on pikes on the Wallachian border, right in front of where the Turks were coming up. And so when the Turks came, because he wanted to prove that he was better than them, it's kind of that's
Tougher.
yeah. So when the Turks saw that, they stopped and they went back. They got
If
scared
you're
and went back.
sensitive to R-rated material, I am so sorry.
Anyway.
All right, are we done?
The
Before we
impaler
get
thing
to-
is how he would kill his enemies.
Yes.
He'd throw them off the
Anywho.
castle wall, and
That's
Yeah.
like
To
the
sticks
main
below.
piece of history I remembered is there was this little window that they would throw them out and they would land and be
Yes.
impaled.
he
And I
was
was like,
cruel to his enemies,
okay.
but he was a hero to the people because he stopped
The Ottoman
the
Turks.
Ottoman
Yeah.
Turks
I
from
respect a guy
So-
like
from
All
Gotta
right.
have some
Don't
metal.
be an
further
enemy.
invading Europe. Anyway,
Moving on
Moving
to the mountain, the Carpathian
Yes.
Mountains.
So,
this is actually
this
really
was
cool
my
to drive
favorite.
up to
My
This was favorite.
because it was flat and we were driving on the road and it was flat and the mountains were like right there. It was so pretty.
that was the
It was so
craziest thing
cool.
I'd ever seen.
And
in my
we
life.
drove the road really slowly. Why is the second most dangerous road? Actually, we watched that YouTube video. Is because the motorcyclists will take those hairpin turns too fast and they'll end up going off the edge. So cars are okay. It's the riders that usually
yeah.
get into some
Huh.
trouble if they're
That's
not
interesting.
careful.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was
It was really
probably-
cool though.
But it seriously, the temperature dropped like 25 degrees.
Oh, and we were
I know.
surprised by Bogdan's family. Bogdan's family showed up.
Right.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
that
I
even
remember
made it better.
that.
It
We
was
ate lunch with
awesome.
them and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yes, that was on the way back down, wasn't it?
Food was
Yes,
very
that was on the
important.
way back. Well, it was up. I mean, I don't know how we met up with them, but we met up with them.
No,
when
we
went
met up
to-
with them on the way. He's talking about lunch at that like lodge place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
there was,
was
you could
really
see
good.
someone was building like a log home.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a really pretty
fun.
I
area.
don't remember that.
So then,
I remember that. Daddy was
After
talking
the
about
mountain-
so
After
fast.
the mountain, the fun part.
The fun begins.
Okay, so the way we traveled
yes.
in Romania during this tour, we're gonna try and keep this short. I don't know if it's gonna work, but are we all right?
Yes.
She was telling me sometimes I
Okay,
didn't
okay.
talk.
This is our first time
So-
recording podcast at night, and Abby's.
You getting a little tired?
Well, honestly, I mean, we're real here. I haven't
Honestly.
been sleeping as well lately.
I understand.
Anyway.
Okay, so anyway, Dad had rented this van in Serbia
Yes.
that we used for our entire trip.
yes.
Drove it into Romania, and then when we flew out, we drove it to Hungary to
And the
Budapest, and they had a
driver.
Serbian driver fly up and take it back. Anyway, so we were all in this van, all of us,
Yes.
the Sowells, and the Mihoks had their van,
Yes.
or whatever.
And Bogdan's family were in their car.
And they were in their car, of
Yeah.
course. So the caravan going back towards Jabot was Teo and his family in front, us in the middle, and the Bindias behind us.
Yes.
Right.
So
Did we stop at a restaurant on the way
We
back?
stopped at a restaurant
This
to
was
eat.
our 3-hour dinner stop.
Yeah.
This
One
was
of
it,
them.
right?
One of them.
One of them.
One of
The
We
them.
had a
one you're
couple.
thinking of
Was
was
after the
in the
train
middle
ride.
of the
It
trip.
was in the middle of the trip.
Yeah.
It was after
Where-
the train
where we
ride
did-
'cause
okay,
were
so-
wearing the same shirts.
Yes.
About that, we learned to
remember it
order
that way.
dessert at the same time when our food comes out
Yes.
because they do not have food set aside that's already cooked. They cook it to order.
Right.
So you get there, you order your food, you wait an hour. Yes, a literal hour. You wait an hour to get your food. What we did is we ate for an hour and then
Talking
ordered
and
our
eating
dessert,
and-
waited another hour
Another
To get our
hour.
dessert.
to get our dessert and then spend another
Hey, at least
30,
you
45
know
minutes,
it's
hour
fresh
Actually,
food.
eating the dessert.
No. So that was after our train expedition because I remember we were wearing the same shirt.
We were
So
wearing
Yes.
we have
green-
pictures to prove that.
Yes.
Which we always do.
But actually, if I remember correctly, we ate at the lodge, but we decided not to stop on the way back because we wanted to get back. We got snacks. That's
Oh yeah,
what happened.
We
yeah.
stopped
I remember
were
now.
at
gonna
the gas
stop.
station.
Yeah.
There was a long line for the restroom. It was either the restroom inside or porta potties outside. Us girls were not using the Romanian porta potties, so we waited in line
You
for
think
like
American porta potties?
we
are
waited in line for like half an hour to use the restroom, and y'all got snacks and stuff. Well, they stopped at the pizza place somewhere. Remember that?
Bad. Oh yeah.
They
I think
went
so.
on ahead and stopped at this pizza place.
Okay, so what happened? How they got so far ahead is most of the roads in Romania that we were traveling, at least, were 2-lane.
Yes.
In fact, I believe there's only one 4-lane that goes through Romania.
Yes.
Maybe 2. One north, south, and the other east to west. Anyway,
We got
so
stuck in traffic. Ugh.
we got stuck behind a truck. And Teo is driving a minivan
Yeah.
SUV, one of those weird European cars that
I
they
would
don't
call
sell
it a
over
minivan.
here.
Significantly smaller than the
Yeah,
15
we're
passenger
driving.
van.
We're driving a van that's
Yes.
about the size of a small Ford van,
Yes.
like not the really long 15-passenger van that Ford makes, but the shorter version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that size.
A little
So-
taller.
Yeah, maybe.
Ish.
Anyway,
Those usually
point
have
is,
low roofs.
can't get around a truck real fast,
No,
especially
obviously.
in a stick where you have to, be
Yes.
jerking stuff around. Anyway, so Teo finds a hole and gets around the truck and takes off. We take another 15, 20 minutes to get around the truck, and then Dad takes off.
But Teo
But
is gone.
Teo has disappeared,
We
and
do
we
not know
don't,
where he is.
and we don't know where he is. So we're driving through villages, and because it's a 2-lane road, it's a fairly large road,
Yeah.
and the roads that would branch off are significantly smaller, like almost 1 lane, and some of them were even dirt.
And we needed to use the
So,
restroom.
so we come to this fork in the road where the roads are the same size,
Yeah.
physically. It's a 2-lane going one way and a 2-lane going the other way. It's a literal Y split.
Yeah.
And so we pull off to the side because we still hadn't caught up to Teo, and we tried to call him and Kami, his wife, and no answer.
And also remember the Bendeas had stopped like 30 minutes behind us.
Yeah, they were
and
way
so
behind
they were,
us.
Yeah. So
But we needed gas and
we
the
had
restroom.
turned
Right.
So we
had,
stopped.
Well,
That
I
was-
think that was later.
That was
no,
later.
What
Oh.
happened was we got to this intersection and we didn't
The
know
Y
which
split,
way
yeah.
he had turned. So we decided, hey, let's go this way. So we went this
Didn't
way.
we
We're
use
going
GPS?
down.
Mama
Google,
GPS'd
yeah.
it on
We-
her
Right.
phone.
We used her
Right.
And
trusty
so-
GPS on her phone.
This
The
is the one
GPS
time that Siri has
never
really
lies.
let us
This
down.
was the worst that she messed up.
Anyway, so Mom
No
GPS'd it since we couldn't wait for the Bendias. They were 30 minutes behind us.
Yes.
So we couldn't wait for them, couldn't get a hold of Teo. We later found out that he was 15, 20 minutes up the road from us.
Yeah.
And so Mom GPS's it. We take off down one of the splits.
Yes.
And
The wrong split.
Yes, but we didn't know that till 30 minutes later. We're down this road. And Teo calls Mom and says, y'all need to turn around and go the other way. We're 30 minutes down the Y
Yeah.
road. Dad was like, we've GPS'd it. We'll see you back at the house.
Yes.
12 hours.
Basically.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, man.
Hours.
Hi.
No, it
So
wasn't
the
that
road
bad.
went from a 2-lane paved road to a 1-lane paved road to a dirt road to a wagon trail. The last
Seriously, y'all.
before then, the last time I'd been on a road like that is on a deer lease.
Yeah.
Hunting deer.
So bumpy. We were hitting our heads. And we were laughing so hard.
No.
though.
We went through a little neighborhood village type thing, and people were looking at us.
They were staring at us like, because our license plate was Serbia.
Yeah.
And we saw
Like, boy,
only
are
2
you
other
lost.
cars. Yeah,
Boy,
we
are
only
you
saw
lost.
2 other cars, one from Spain and the other from another country that was not Romania. So we weren't the only ones that got lost. But the dude in the Spanish car, it was some sports car, and they flew by us, remember? And then he pulled out the selfie stick.
No, we flew by him.
No,
We
He was
flew by-
driving
going, He was
slow.
going pretty slow over, and Dad's like, "I've had enough of this." And as soon as he could, he got around that car and just started going. I mean, because Dad's used to those
he
kind of
always
roads, so he's got
And a
one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the stick, and he's just going
Because
like
he was
this.
ready to get off the road.
Yeah. Oh, he wanted.
I
to
mean,
get off
we
of
are
that.
talking
Anyway,
about a wagon
And
trail.
Yes.
the dude pulls out his selfie stick. We
and
were
is
laughing
videoing
so
us
hard.
while we're driving.
We
down the
left
road.
him in a literal cloud of
It
dust.
was beautiful area though.
Like, I'm not
Yes.
And
the
Mom
only
was like,
crazy
think of it this
people
way, we'd never
person.
see this part of Romania. We're
I don't
like,
think
yeah.
some people
Dad
in
didn't do a whole lot
Romania
of sightseeing,
hadn't
though.
even seen that
It
part of
was
Romania.
really funny.
Eyes on the road. Eyes on the road.
But the best part of it is the coolest thing, the miraculous, if you want to call it that, is that Siri did
Eventually, she
Yes.
got us
Get
there
us there.
eventually.
Well,
it was
we
like
got
3
home-
hours though.
Yeah, it was not 12.
It was not 12.
Yes, it was.
It was
12
midnight
because
or 1.
No,
we
it
got-
didn't take us 12 hours.
Yeah, it did.
We
From
got back
the
at
full-
midnight.
Okay,
maybe
maybe.
the full
Well,
drive,
about 9.
But us being
It was
being
12
lost,
from Brasov, but so
with
9
us being lost, it was like 3 to 4 hours.
Then we
off.
got stuck.
But see,
once we
we-
got back to the main 2-lane road headed to Jabot,
We got
we
stuck
got
in
stuck in
traffic.
traffic.
Hour trip back.
It was a pretty
Yes.
long trip because
didn't
that
know
we
that.
were all the way by Ukraine. Remember that we drove on the road and there was like a creek, and the other side of the creek was Ukraine.
Oh, I didn't remember.
Like,
that.
we
I
were-
remember that.
And the funny thing that happened
Oh, I
on that
remember
trip.
the lines on the mountain.
What?
There was like division lines on like. They're
Like a
like
fence?
This not a fence, but like that part.
like a border.
I thought there was. Never mind. Don't listen to that.
Anyway,
Hey, it's not like you have a
I
bad
thought-
memory. It's
I thought there
I
was
don't
like
remember this.
part of that was Ukraine.
I
and
have no
part-
memory of
maybe.
this.
Okay.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't know. I'm just
but
making stuff
no,
up
what
to
was
feel
so
like I
fun?
belong in this country.
Hey,
Wow.
What
Okay,
was,
what was
what
so
was so
funny?
fun
Josh, you tell
was
us.
we had John Mark and I. This is when you wonder how we do our reels and TikToks now and our bloopers at the end. I think we got started on that in that traffic jam in Romania. I mean, John Mark and I had Mom's iPhone 1 just going at stuff. And the thing is toast now, so we don't have the videos anymore. So
Oh, that's right. So
that was,
oh yeah, that old
2017
iPhone 4 or whatever.
yeah, something like that.
2017, we've talked about how awesome our camps were
Yeah.
in Serbia. And with the teen messenger group, they were texting us while we were in
Oh,
Romania,
yeah.
like checking on us because we were only an hour ahead of them in Romania.
Right.
So we were like playing all the favorite songs from camp. Like That's What Makes You Beautiful, Happy.
I like bread.
I Like Bread. What was
No,
the?
you don't
Hey,
just like
baby.
bread.
I love.
I love
bread.
bread.
I love
I
bread.
love
Whatever
bread.
the song is.
I love
Anyway,
bread.
and then
I eat
the
it every
Spanish
day.
song.
Ba-ba.
Hey,
Hey,
baby.
yeah.
Anyway.
It's DJ Otis. Whatever.
Anyway,
Let's
so
see.
they were playing all those songs and like dancing and stuff
So
like
we were
that, and
just-
we were
we were
sending
just
those
vibing.
videos to the teens. It was funny.
Hey,
Anyway, we made it home safely in one piece, but that was another, I don't want to say point of contention, but it was just another thing that we needed to talk to Pastor Taylor about. Was there's like, y'all can't do that.
Well, to be honest, I mean, not so much with the siblings, but Mom and Dad definitely felt abandoned by Teo
Oh,
when
yeah.
he drove
Because
off.
we're in a foreign country, never
Yeah.
been here before.
Yeah.
Well, in that part of the country before.
Like we were following you.
Well, and then the fact that they stopped and got dinner without us, without letting us know.
Yeah.
We were like, oh,
Well, and then
bummer.
he wanted us to turn around, and we're 30 minutes already down this
Yeah, yeah,
road.
yeah.
I mean,
So that was
Whatever.
just
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
Again, miscommunication. If y'all haven't gotten that in this podcast, this series, the universal language, part of a universal language is communication.
Yeah. And
So
Communication.
it wasn't always the
it
greatest.
wasn't always the greatest, but we made it home safely,
We
and
did.
it's just now it's kind of a funny memory. We laugh about it now. We were Dad wasn't laughing, but we were
No.
laughing while he was driving. Anyway,
Oh, that was so
fun
fun.
times.
Anyway,
was fun.
that's
I
our
laughed, I
sightseeing.
cried.
It moved me, Bob.
Shout out to my boy. Sorry.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Okay, folks. So I wanted to.
We
touch
took
my
you on
mic,
a
but I
whirlwind
decided
with
not.
us.
Yes, and we hope you enjoyed this podcast.
Welcome
Thank
back to the
you
United States.
for listening in. We want to shout out to one of our faithful listeners, Tim Iverson. Thank you for all your support of us.
Yes.
And for listening to us ramble. Like, that means a lot to us that someone's tuning in. And hey, if you've been listening faithfully to our podcast or just started listening and are enjoying it, we'd love to connect with you on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Oh,
We'd love to
yeah.
get to know you over there.
Yes.
We have a lot of fun over there. We're also on YouTube, so you can check out, you can listen to our podcast on YouTube. If you're listening to our podcast on YouTube, thank you. But you can also watch some of our covers we do over there and just other fun stuff. So we'd appreciate you if you go subscribe.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Anyway, and check out our website, thefamilysowell.com. We have a lot of cool stuff over there, and there is a way that you can be a part of our next CD project coming up in August.
what?
We're going to be going back into the studio with Ben Isaacs and Mark Capps near Nashville, Tennessee. We're super excited. It's our second album with them, and they are the best. And so you can be a part of that and get some special perks with that. So go check that out under crowdfunding event. And thank you. We love you. And you'll hear from us. We'll see you next time on Let's B3D. And as always,
Peace, love, fam.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the opinions or standard of the family Sowell.
Have a lovely day.